What is going on, everybody? It is your man R0B back at it again with another New York Giants video. And in today's video, heard some rumors and some things that I read on Twitter by Jordan Schultz. We'll get into that. It's potential rumors of a Deshaun Watson and Brian Flores team together with the New York Giants. So we'll get into that. First and foremost, I want to thank you guys for watching the video. If you guys are new to the channel, please be sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, like the video down below as well, and comment down. I always try to read every single comment if I can, so if you guys have any questions or any suggestions or things like that, go ahead and do that. Also, I did want to highlight that we are currently at 82 subscribers on the YouTube channel. If we were to hit 100 subscribers by the end of next week, I will be doing a $15 giveaway. So I'll give you a $15 gift card of your choice. It could be for a restaurant, it could be for Xbox, it could be for PlayStation, Steam, whatever you'd like. We'll go ahead and I'll provide you with a $15 gift card, and we'll do that drawing as well. So that is something that we're going to be doing as far as a giveaway perspective goes. Now, let's get into the main topic, and the main reason for the video is the reports and the stories that are developing in regards to Brian Flores and Deshaun Watson. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull up a story for you here where from Jordan Schultz it says, "Don't sleep on the prospect of Brian Flores to the New York Giants. I am told owner John Mara respects and likes Flores. Flores is a Brooklyn native, and that Flores would prioritize the GMN job at or near the top of his list, per sources close to this situation." Now, we all know that we really have not seen a lot of luck when it comes to Bill Belichick trees. Matt Patricia, Josh McDaniels with his first head coaching gig with the Denver Broncos, Joe Judge, and the list goes on, Bill O'Brien and stuff like that. So we know that we haven't really seen a lot of success when it comes to coaches coming from New England. We can even go back to Charlie Weiss. He did an okay job in Notre Dame, and Romeo Crennel as a head coach when he took the Kansas City job, when he was, I believe, the head coach for the Cleveland Browns. So really didn't work out all that well. Some guys are good as coordinators. Some guys are good on special teams, defense or offense. Not always good as a head coach. But let's just say we would be entertaining it. I don't have a problem with Brian Flores' philosophies and what he's done. There's no question that when he went to Miami, that Miami was not well or not doing well at the present moment in time. And they had gotten rid of a lot of key players, and the locker room morale and the on-field production was not very good. And in the last 3 seasons, they had a losing season. I believe they went 4-12 his first year, 10-6 the second season, making the playoffs. They started their third season 1-7, and then they won 7 straight games. So Brian Flores definitely was doing some amazing things when it comes to the Miami Dolphins, and he's a defensive guy, so he definitely would help in that regard. But that would kind of phase out Patrick Graham from his position, obviously, naturally. But I don't have an issue with Brian Flores, depending on what we're getting. In regards to that, like I said, I'm more content with going away from the New England coaching tree, even though Brian Flores may be the odd one out of that actually somehow works and everything like that. Does it make sense to bring him in? Yes. The guy's from Brooklyn. He had some success. Arguably, probably wouldn't have gotten fired from Miami had it not been for some coaching staff disagreements, people maybe he wanted to keep or get rid of that they didn't want to. And there was a rumor also that he wanted a little bit more say as far as bringing in personnel and drafting and certain things. He wanted a little bit more power within the organization, which I felt that he deserved that based upon the 2-year production, that he had, and the way that his team was playing during the year. So, and they were on the verge of making another, postseason, appearance. So I definitely think that he earned that, and more or less in his 3-year time span did much more than I would say probably Joe Judge did with the New York Giants. So would I be okay with him coming in? Does it make sense? Absolutely. Again, he's from Brooklyn. He's a New York native. It would make sense. But, you know, to me personally, I just kind of want to get away from those New England coaches. Now, on the flip side of this, okay, on the flip side of this, there are some other reports, okay? And the reports here is that sources say, this also coming from Jordan Schultz, sources say Deshaun Watson has expressed a strong desire internally to play for the Giants, ideally with Brian Flores coaching, where he could also reestablish his brand in a league's top market. So Deshaun Watson, who there were reports that the reason why he was considering Miami was due to Brian Flores, has now stated, Deshaun Watson, internally, that he would like to play for the New York Giants. Now, this is interesting because this kind of goes in with this second quote here, which is developing story that Deshaun Watson and Brian Flores have been in constant communication trying to navigate a scenario where they go to the same team. Per sources, Watson trusts and likes Flores and has been adamant internally that he'd like to play for him next season. So we have Brian Flores and Deshaun Watson, who were trying to link up in Miami. Miami couldn't get it done for whatever reason. Obviously, we have the 22 counts of allegations when it comes to Deshaun Watson that has not been settled. Could be potentially to where the New York media eats him alive at that, but also the New York media is pretty welcoming. I personally think in this situation, again, this is just my opinion, he was offered or asked to settle. He didn't want to settle. And I think that if he didn't want to settle, this probably means that he didn't do anything because he wants to fight against it. Typically, people that are guilty, they want to settle, get it over with, get it done with, and that's it. But it's kind of hard to overlook 22 counts of sexual assault charges or sexual charges that are being filed against Deshaun Watson. Do you want that kind of attention in regard or around a program or franchise that you are trying to rebuild? And I don't necessarily know if you would like to go ahead and bring that into your locker room, because not only that, you're going to have the players answer questions about this, your coaching staff, your ownership on why. And John Mara even said in this regard that if it had something to do with a player, that they would not sign off on it unless both the GM and the head coach were on the same page. And I think that right there would be implications. And John Mara said that in his press conference, that would be implications that this would probably not work. Me personally, I think that Brian Flores is going to sign with the Houston Texans. And I think Houston is going to be doing that for a couple of reasons. I do think that they value and respect Brian Flores and the work that he put in with Miami. But I do think that they are going to want to try to mend the relationship between Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans organization, and saying, hey, listen, we will go out and get your coach. We'll bring him in. We will right this ship and right this wrong, and they're going to try to retain Deshaun Watson. And I think that's why they're going to try to do it. And that's where I think that he's going to end up going, is going to be with the Houston Texans. But as far as potential, and let's look at this from this perspective. In this scene here, I have Deshaun Watson, and in this scene here, I've got Russell Wilson. And I've always said I would prefer Russell Wilson. I feel like Russell Wilson is a guy that demands respect. That when he steps into the locker room, he's going to demand respect. He's going to get it. I would even put him on the same level as like a Tom Brady, not from a performance standpoint, but from a respect standpoint. When he walks into the locker room, people want to play for him. They want to play hard. They don't want to embarrass him. You're going to get players that are going to push that extra mile for you because they don't want to let you down. And I feel like Russell Wilson does carry that. Also, I feel that Russell Wilson, especially if we're going to be struggling potentially, whether it's with the offensive line, rebuilding, things and that, I feel like Russell Wilson would be better suited to handle that and is a pro's pro. Whereas Deshaun Watson, I don't know if he would be necessarily able to handle that, keep his cool, keep calm, especially in the pocket if for whatever reason the pocket collapses or there's a lot of pressure. So not only that, but when you look at some of the work that we'd have to be able to do, I believe that Russell Wilson is in the last year of his contract, or he's got one more year left on his deal. I do think that it would be less to acquire Russell Wilson than it would be for Deshaun Watson, being that Russell Wilson is over 30 and Deshaun Watson's only 25. So I do feel that it would be less to acquire a guy like Russell Wilson, to where maybe we could trade a first next year, the year after that, or maybe a first next year, a third, a fourth, and maybe a player. So maybe you give up a 1, 2, or a 1, 3, and a 4, and maybe you throw in Daniel Jones and you get Russell Wilson. That would be my thinking process. Or maybe you give up number 5 or the number 7th overall pick this year. Maybe you give up a 1 next year and you trade in Daniel Jones and you get yourself Russell Wilson. A guy like Deshaun Watson is probably going to pull in at least 3 number 1 picks if I had to guess, or 2 number 1s and like a number 3 or a number 2, or 2 number 1s and a high tier player, something of that nature. But when it comes down to it, I personally would prefer Russell Wilson over Deshaun Watson. But those are the rumors that have been coming out, and it's kind of interesting. I don't think that it's going to pan out. Like I said, I think Flores is going to end up going to Houston. I don't really see it being a fit for the situation that Brian Flores, unless he's willing to say, look, I tried, but this is the job that I want, and tell ownership, hey, look, this is, I'd be willing to overlook this and whatnot, but it also is going to depend on the general manager. Whoever the general manager is going to want to hire his own guy, and whoever that may be, it may be. We never know. We don't know. We have a lot of high candidates right now with Ryan Poles and with Joe Shane and Ortiz. So we've got a lot of good process. Adam Peters. We've got a lot of good prospects right now. I hope and pray that sometime next week they can get the GM situated to where then they could start looking at a head coach, because then at that point we'll start to get an idea based upon who the GM is on who we can look at for potential head coaches, offensive coordinators, so on, or defensive coordinators, so on and so forth. All right, so that's all I got for you guys today. I wanted to make that video for you guys and give you guys the update. I appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out and watching the video. Again, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to go ahead and smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment down below. What do you guys think? Would you like Brian Flores and Deshaun Watson? Who would you prefer, Deshaun or Russell Wilson? Or do you have another head coach in mind that you'd like to see come in and be the head coach of this football team? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'll do you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.